Ma'arotep, brothers and sisters. I'm Pastor Ray Hagins, founder, chief elder, and spiritual leader of the African Village and Cultural Centers. And I welcome you to another Sunday online NJIA fellowship right here, right now. So let's get into it by lifting our voice together and singing one more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. All right? Everybody, lift your voice with me wherever you are. Come on. One more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. One more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. One more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more. God allowed us, yeah, to come together to praise God's name, just to praise His name. God allowed us to come together to praise His name, to praise her name, to praise her name. God allowed us to come together to praise Him. God allowed us, yeah. Oh, yes. To sing our song, just to sing our song. God allowed us to come together to sing our song. To sing our song, to sing our song. God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah. Now come on, let's put those hands together. To clap our hands, everybody. Just to clap our hands. God allowed us, yeah, to come together. To clap our hands. To clap our hands. To clap our hands. Oh, yeah, God allowed us to come together. God allowed us, yeah. Everybody say one more time. One more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. One more time. One more time. Oh, God allowed us. God allowed us. Yeah. Oh, come together one more time. God allowed us. Yeah. Just to praise His name. God allowed us. Yeah. Been so good and kind. God allowed us. Yeah. Oh, yes, He did. God allowed us. Yeah. God allowed us. God allowed us to come together one more time, one more time. God allowed us to come together one more time. And brothers and sisters, I'm grateful for that, and I'm thankful for that, and I trust you are too. Let's go right into the oath to the ancestors, then we can go into our program for today. Let's lift our voice and honor those who have made it possible for us to be where we are right now. Come on, everybody, lift your voice with me, okay? And say these words. Oh, ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights, African ancestors, it is to you that we, your children, give respect and honor. Oh, ancestors, we call upon you and welcome you in this place. African ancestors, let your presence fill this place. Oh, ancestors, who have been purposely excluded from the history books, so that the world would not know of your greatness. Our African ancestors, who gave civilization to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave music to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave sciences to the world. Yes. Our African ancestors, who gave mathematics to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave medicine to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave literature to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave philosophy to the world. Our African ancestors, who gave God consciousness to the world. Oh, ancestors, we thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Now stand with us, strengthen us, guide us, teach us, and protect us from the snare of our enemies. Rise up, O African ancestors, and let our enemies be scattered, and give us the wisdom and the boldness to deal with our oppressors and those who would hinder the liberation and empowerment of our people. Rise up, O African ancestors, and live in us, and we will not fail to honor you. We will not fail to respect you. We will not fail to hear you, and we will not betray you. Ashe, Yebo. And now, brothers and sisters, we want to take the time to honor just a few of the great Africans who have gone ahead of us. Yes. We call forth their great African names and honor them. To pharaohs Narmer, Zoja, Sneferu, Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure, and the great vizier and physician and multi-genius Imhotep, we say Ashe. To Queen Nitocris, Queen Sobek Neferu, Queen Ahotep, Queen Amos Nefertari, Queen King Hatshepsut, Nefertiti, Queen T, and Queen Nefertari II, we say Ashe. To Menkepenra Tahuti Mays, known as Thutmose III, Amenhotep III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Ursula Akra, Setebenra, Ramesh Meriamun, Ramses II, Shabaka, Taharka, Hannibal, and the great African warrior Shaka Zulu, we say Ashe. To all of the kings, queens, priests, and warriors of Nubia, Waset, Ethiopia, Kemet, Kenya, the Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, Central, South, and West Al-Kibu, we say Ashe. To the more than 600 million Africans whose lives were lost in the European invasions of Africa and in the Middle Passage, we say Ashe. To the more than 300 million who have since lost their lives to racism and hate crimes, we say Ashe. To Harriet Tubman, Ashe. Frederick Douglass, Ashe. Mary McLeod Bethune, Ashe. Nat Turner, Ashe. Fannie Lou Hamer, Ashe. Sojourner Truth, Ashe. Carter G. Woodson, Ashe. Booker T. Washington, Ashe. Dr. Charles Drew, Ashe. Noble Drew Ali, Ashe. Benjamin Banneker, Ashe. George Washington Carver, Ashe. Bishop Richard Allen, Ashe. Bishop Charles Harrison Mason, Ashe. Howard Thurman, Ashe. Mother Mahalia Jackson, Ashe. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Ashe. Benjamin E. Mays, Ashe. Langston Hughes, Ashe. Medgar Evers, Ashe. Paul Robeson, Ashe. Dr. Martin Luther King, Ashe. Malcolm X, Ashe. Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Yosef Ben Hale, Adam Clayton Powell, Dr. Asa Hilliard, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. John Henrik Clark, Dr. John G. Jackson, Dr. Shikanta Diop, Dr. Chancellor Williams, Dr. George G.M. James, Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Ture, Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Elder Leroy Jackson, Elder Harry Williams, Musa Badashango, Brother Ray Charles, to our mothers and fathers, our grandmothers and grandfathers, to our great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers, our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, and all those who have gone ahead of us and have made their ancestral transition to their life, deeds, legacy, and contributions. We say Ashe. Again we say Ashe. Again we say Ashe. Oh yes, we honor their memory today. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. English words are these: God is great, and He's worthy to be praised. I say hallelujah. God is great, and He's worthy to be praised. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I say hallelujah. So God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say, you are with us. God make us one. We all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and say, you are with us. God make us one. Yeah, we all should be one. And then the unbelievers will come and they will say, you are with us. Yeah. Woo, man. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Oh, family. Allahu Akbar. Oh, brothers and sisters, while singing that praise, I just envisioned a 500 voice conscious choir. All right? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Of Africans singing that. Can you see it? Man, that would be a wonderful experience, wouldn't it? Wow. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Brothers and sisters, again, welcome to another Sunday online NJIA fellowship of the African Village and Cultural Center. I'm Ray Hagins, and I welcome you. I welcome you. I welcome you. I'm so glad to have you here with me at this time. And to those of you who have been so faithfully and loyally, attending every Sunday, guys, I thank you so very much. Asante Sana Madasipa for your sacrifice of your time. Okay, there are many other things you could be doing. Okay, but you've chosen to make this your time of learning and continuing the process of freeing your African mind. To the brothers and sisters in the African villages, I honor you today. In headquarters in St. Louis, to our elders and members there. And while we were singing one more time, Brother Tom Glenn, I saw you, in my vision, man, I saw you in the audience with your finger up like this, saying, one more time, one more time. Oh man, I hope you're doing okay, brother. Oh man. So to all of you there in St. Louis, I honor you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for your continued support. And I was just talking to Elder Phyllis Jackson, who's the widow of the elder late Leroy Jackson. And even though we haven't met in person in a couple of years now, for the ascension ceremony into the ancestral realm for Elder Jackson, we had brothers from the African village who we hadn't seen in I don't know when come together in support. And Elder Jackson was just saying to me on this past week how much she, honors and loves the African village. Even though we haven't been meeting in person, we still come to the beck and call of each other's need. And that's what we're all about at the African village. After all, if we can't be there for each other, what good are we, right? So I honor you guys, okay? To the African village of Youngstown, Ohio, to the elders and brothers and sisters there, Ma'at Hotep, I greet you. Thank you for your continued support and holding up the banner of Ma'at there in Youngstown, Ohio. To the brothers and sisters of the African villages of Chicago and Detroit, hey, man, we honor you as well. We thank you for what you're doing. Okay. And I can't wait to see you guys again. It's been so long since we've seen each other. to the African village of New York City. Waziri Wells, minister in charge there, to the elders there, to the brothers and sisters there. I honor you, my auto tip to you guys as well. To the African village of Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, man, I honor you guys as well, okay? And to the African village there in Memphis, Tennessee, Pastor Norman Redwing, okay? Minister in charge there, doing a great work there in Memphis. I honor you guys as well. Been praying for you guys and your and the work that you're doing there. Y'all are doing some great things there in Memphis, and I thank you for that. Excuse me. To our brothers and sisters who are supporters. You're members. You just don't attend a particular location of the African Village Fellowship. And I say that y'all are members because that's how I feel about you. You're with me every week. Okay, I see y'all here every week. Okay, those of you who make your donations every week, you, as far as I'm concerned, you are a part of the African Village. And so hey, man, let's and I meant to mention also that we had another brother and sister in the African Village to her mother made a transition. Brother Power and sister Fucha. Her mother passed away a couple weeks ago, and they had her memorial service on last week, and it was really nice, and so we honor her as well, okay, and we're keeping that family in our prayers. Brothers and sisters, I'll tell you, I am so grateful to the Most High. If I had to give a testimony, I would say I don't have the words to express how thankful I am to the Most High God for bringing me through all of the stuff that he's brought me through, or she's brought me through, okay, or he, she, whatever, whatever God, how Dr. Clark said, the God of your imagination, okay, however you want to relate to that, that's on you. But I'm thankful today that I've come through trials, tribulations, storms, ups and downs, good times, bad times, all to get me to where I am today. And I'm so grateful for that. It's made me the man that I am today. And it's a wonderful thing, to get to a certain age in life and you can feel that you're just leveled off, you're where you ought to be. You're at peace with where you are. You're doing your job. That's a wonderful feeling, man. I can't it's just a great feeling. And sometimes when I think about it, I just burst into tears, because man, I could have been left in the sea of ignorance. The ancestors and the Most High could have left me in that program that I had been preaching for over 25 years, not knowing any better. Thought I was doing the right thing, but I wasn't. I wasn't teaching the truth. I was teaching what I was indoctrinated to believe. Okay. I wasn't teaching what I knew. I was teaching what I was told, what I had heard preached. I was regurgitating all the programming that I grew up with, but when my eyes came open, man, I give praise to the Most High right now for being so wonderful in my life, and I hope that I can transmit to you the message of African liberation so that you too can ascend, and stabilize your emotions, stabilize your spirituality, stand firm in that which not what you believe, but what And hey, man, what can I tell you? As I was listening to some of my messages, and again, people have been saying to me, especially ministers, Brother Ray, help me to transition my congregation to how you transitioned your congregation without me losing my folk, And so I've been trying to do that through our Sunday messages. And the message that I'm going to air for you today is a message that I did in 2001. Okay, wow, almost 23 years ago, I did this message. And it's called Breaking the Last Bond of Slavery. All right. And as you listen to this message, I hope you can see how we need to break that final barrier for our empowerment and our liberation. Okay. So let's get right to it. But before doing that, I want you to keep this in mind. Okay. And make a circle with your hands like this, or just read what's there on the screen. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted right here within this circle. I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. Why do I start my teachings off like that? Because as a teacher, it's my job to enlighten you. And I can only enlighten you by telling you what you do not already know. If I'm only saying what you already know, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm wasting your time and mine too. Okay? So I don't like to be like the preacher, okay, who as he was preaching, the congregation was finishing his sentences because they had heard those messages so much. So over and over and over the same 5 messages for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Okay, that's not teaching. That's proclaiming, that's regurgitating, you know. And so as a teacher, my job is to enlighten you. Okay? So that's why I start off with this illustration. Also, I want you guys to understand what my purpose in life is. Why do I do what I do? Well, it says right here, the aim of this, I should say message, because this is not a lecture, okay, today, but the aim of this message or this lecture, however you want to say it, is to begin the process. Notice what I said, to begin the process, okay, of undoing and reversing ideas and concepts that have been programmed into the minds of our people by religious statements and church doctrines that have caused us as a people to adopt a belief system, not a knowledge system, a belief system, okay, that has caused us to lose contact with what is real. It's caused us to lose contact with what is factual. It's caused us to lose contact with what is historical, but most of all, it has caused us to lose contact with what is spiritual. So my assignment, the reason why I came out of my mother's womb, is to return us as Africans back to the awareness of ourselves and what and who we were before we got sidetracked, okay, by the programming of the invaders. Understand that, okay? That's my assignment. That's what I live for. That's what I live for. Yeah, okay? Also, I want you to remember this. And that is this: when you've told so many lies on top of each other over the centuries, that telling the truth about one of your early foundational lies would unravel all the lies that have been defensively piled on top of it, you have no choice but to continue to lie. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of religious leaders and pastors cannot tell you the truth, even though they know the truth. Okay, many pastors have come to know the truth from talking to me, from listening to me, watching me. Okay, they know the truth, but I've also had pastors actually say to me, "Doc, I can't teach this stuff, man. I'll lose my pulpit. I can't teach this. I got a family to support." Well, I'm glad that I wasn't that cowardly. I'm thankful to the Most High. I don't take credit for it. That's just the way God made me. Okay, I'm one of those kind of people that once I know the truth about a thing, I'm going to stand on that. If I have to stand by myself, and I mean that. Okay, you know why? Because the truth is my support. Understand that, right? Notice the next paragraph here. When your ability to maintain your control over another person's reality is based on the lies about what you are and who they are, you can never tell the truth. All right? Understand that, brothers and sisters. That's our predicament today. All right? Well, let's get into the message now. All right? And I pray that you guys will be blessed by this message. All right. Take notes, learn. All right. And by the way, for the what do you call them, trolls in the room, understand how this goes. Okay. It's a shame I have to say this because look like your mama would have raised you better. All right. To disrespect a person's classroom. You don't do that. You don't do that. Okay. If you don't agree with what's being taught, then just leave the class. All right. You don't come into a person's classroom and try to correct and you don't even know what's going on. All right. So those of you who cannot respect my classroom, even though we're online, I see you in the chat room. Okay. If you can't respect the chat room, if you can't respect those who are here to learn, okay, and not watch you try to type a sermon, okay, in contradiction to what's being said, trust me, you will be deleted and blocked. All right. We're here to learn. If you're not here to learn, go somewhere and sit down. All right, just that simple. I'm tired of people who are dedicated to being ignorant. You have the right to remain ignorant if you want to, but you cannot stay in my class and express your ignorance. It's not going to happen. All right. Having said that, let's get into the message for today. All right, and be blessed by it. Take notes and learn. All right, let's do this. Breaking the last bond of slavery. There was a British hunter who went to Africa to do some hunting. You know how some people just like to kill things? Yes. And when he went into the bush, there was a massive elephant. And she was there with her baby calf. And this hunter wanted that baby calf. But the mother elephant knew that the hunter meant them harm. So the mother elephant flung her big ears out and shook them, which meant, I'm getting ready to get in your case. And to protect her baby, she began to charge the hunter. And the hunter took his rifle, took aim, and pulled the trigger. Because the hunter knew that that mother elephant had two things that was a threat to him. Number one, she had knowledge of his intent. And number two, she had the power to wipe him out. Yeah. And he had to get rid of that. So he pulled the trigger. The projectile left the muzzle of his weapon, hitting that mother elephant in the exact spot, and she fell dead. Well, the baby elephant, having never encountered such a thing before, tried to run for his life, but then where am I going to go? Yeah. I've always been with my mother, so I'm going to run back to my mommy. But my mom is now dead, so let me run for my life. And the baby elephant went back and forth until a net had been thrown over the baby elephant. And in its anger and in its rage, it tried to break free from that net, but there were too many men there. And they took a cable, threw it around the baby elephant's neck, and enslaved it. Put it to sleep. And when the baby elephant woke up, he was attached to a post in the ground. The cable around his neck was now attached to a post. It had been free, running through the jungles, enjoying God's creation. Now it's attached to a post in the ground. 5 years later, that baby elephant was now a big elephant. If it dared but think about pulling the post out of the ground, all it had to do was one of them numbers. But it had been trained to be enslaved. So the hunter came and took the cable off the baby elephant's neck. You're no longer tied to the cable which is attached to the post in the ground. But guess what, y'all?
elephant stayed right there. It chose to remain a slave to the spot that it had been tied to for the last 5 years. The aim of this message today is to try to promote and instill within us as Africans not only the desire but the power or the ability to experience African liberation. I found out, y'all, that there are a lot of us that really don't want to be free. That's right. Hello? Yes, sir. Many Africans still function within the philosophical paradigm that was forced upon us by those who oppressed us. And many people, many of our people have chosen not to move away from that post in the ground. How is it that we have chosen not to move away from it? Because here's what enables you to move away from that post. It's something called knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, the acquisition of knowledge, maybe I should say right knowledge, will automatically cause you to move away from that post in the ground. But I found out that many of us have chosen not to move away from the post in the ground because we have chosen not to add knowledge to ourselves. And guess what? As a result of choosing not to add knowledge in our quest for liberation, we create our own uselessness to the community in which we are part of. Brothers and sisters, it's time for the breaking, the shattering of the last bond of slavery. There are so many bonds that we have already broken. Yes, there was a time when Africans had no social status whatsoever. You couldn't walk down the street. We've broken the bond that held us back socially. There was a time when blacks had no economic status. We've broken that bond. We got black billionaires now, black millionaires now, black corporate executives now. So we've broken that bond in the economic realm. In education, there was a time when they wouldn't even allow us to read. Now we have black PhDs. Oh, we've broken the bond. Black MDs. We've broken the bond in that area. Politics, oh my God, we got black governors now, black mayors, black congressmen, black senators. I don't think they're going to let us have a black president. At least no time soon. We've broken these bonds in these areas. Even in entertainment. There was a time when if you wanted to see a black image in entertainment, it had to be a white man who would put black face on and act like a so-called black man as they perceived us to be. Blacks weren't allowed in entertainment. Now we dominate the entertainment industry. That's right. There was a time not too very long ago where you couldn't find a black quarterback. That's right. But now we have excelled and taken the lead in athletics. And I'll tell you, every area we get in, we take it. We take it. Brothers and sisters, we have broken the bond that held us back in every area except one area. We have not broken the last bond of slavery. It must must be broken in order for liberation to take place. And I want you to know what it is so you be clear with me, brothers and sisters. The last bond of slavery that must be broken is the slave master's religion. That's the last bond of slavery. This message today is a call for unity.
Yes.
However, we as a people cannot have unity without a true and proper foundation.
Yes. Right.
This morning we talked about on the radio about changing history.
Yes, sir.
Changing his story. You can't change his story until you first know our story. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This means telling the truth. Everybody say, tell the truth. Now I know y'all said it, but do you mean it? Telling the truth, brothers and sisters, often results in pain. A lot of people don't want to deal with the pain of the truth. Regardless of how much it hurts, we got to tell the truth. There is no longer any more time for laughing with your oppressor. Look at the person next to you and say, we got to stop laughing with the enemy. There's no more time for Uncle Tom's sellout leadership in our community. No more time for that. I was listening to last week's message. I didn't realize I was so angry at the point. When I said it, I wish we were truly an African village. Because if we were really if we really had some real African warriors up in here, when we see sellout leadership, they wouldn't sell out long because their heads would be taken. You understand what I'm saying? There's no more time, brothers and sisters, for miseducation among our people. There's no more time for us to progress by stepping on our brothers and sisters just to get ahead. It's time for that stuff to stop. We're building on a lopsided foundation because we have not broken that last bond of slavery. You see, the slave master's religion says that you can do anything you want to do, treat people any way you want to treat them, be just as dishonest as you can, as evil as you can, as carnal as you can, and it's all right because all you got to do is confess. Y'all grabbing this thing here. But that's some deep psychopathology. When you can tell a person no matter what they've done, it's made right by believing in the shed blood of somebody who never existed. Now, I know I might have just rocked somebody's world if you're visiting with us. But see, that's their agenda. Their agenda is to fabricate what is called a vicar. Everybody say vicar. Vicar, or the vicarious work of Christ. That's the name of the doctrine. Or the substitutionary work of Christ. That's the doctrine. Or the propitiation of Christ. That's the doctrine. That teaching is that in spite of your messed up condition, this person who you cannot prove the existence of, are y'all with me? You don't have to grab what I'm saying, just listen to what I'm saying. This person who you have no idea of the validity of their existence, but yet they want you to believe in what this person did for you, and everything you did wrong, is made right. Now just take 5 seconds and think about that. I'm going to walk on that one. Did you think about it? In other words, you are not made right by doing right. You're not made right by going to the person you mistreated and apologizing. Oh, doggone. Are y'all grabbing this thing? And you want to know why so much mess goes on in the church? Because we treat each other any kind of way we want to and never go back to that person and say, I'm sorry. But yet you come to the altar and say, God, forgive me. That is not the African way, people. The African way is don't you dare come up here talking no mess like that. Go back to the person that you wronged and get it right with them. You see, people, when you got that kind of theology, you can steal a people from their homeland and put cuffs around their neck and chains around their body. And if they don't submit to your evilness, you can beat them, flog them, lynch them, rape them, cut the pregnant women, mistreat them, and then go confess. And everything is all right. That's the slave master's religion. In order to correct the problem, you must understand the roots of how it was falsified in the first place. We must deal with the lies that have destroyed us as a people in correcting our predicament. Everybody say this: black folk, Africans are the most religiously devoted people in the world. Now say this: black folk, Africans are the most oppressed of people in the world. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to you? In other words, we've taken on the slave master's religion, and it has created something in us called docility and passivity. That's why they want to know from you, are you a Christian? Because when you say, yes, I'm a Christian, that translates into their head as, well, he's a good Negro. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Because if you're really a good Christian, that means when I mistreat you, you're going to pray for me. That's what it means when they tell you that. It means if you're a Christian, I can slap you because I know you're going to turn the other cheek. It's a new day now. Did y'all hear what I said? Don't you try that other cheek stuff now, brother. Why are we Africans the most religiously devoted people in America, but yet we continue to be the most burdened people in America? It's for one of two things. Either the source of our divine revelation is wrong, or we've been lied to. Now, I don't believe that there's truly fault with God. I know better than that. God is too real in my life to doubt the validity and justice of Almighty God. You've done too much for me. My mom used to say it this way: you can't make me doubt him. I know too much about him. You understand what I'm saying? So if if we are still misled, it must mean then that those who taught us misrepresented what is supposed to be the truth. The average African in America knows very little, if anything at all, about his or her African heritage. The American-born, notice how I said that, the American-born black man, black woman is a completely made-over being that only recognizes and comprehends or experiences what their slave master has determined for him or her. And guess what, y'all? This includes a religion that was and still is offered in the best interest of the slave master. Now, y'all may not believe what I'm saying to you, but do you not know, and I said this a few weeks ago also, I think I said it on the radio this morning, do you not know that the majority of what our people en masse believe is what we were believing when we were slaves? Think about what I'm telling you now. In other words, if what the slave master taught us while we were slaves, the doctrine hasn't changed one bit. Something ought to tell you that which they taught you was not for your liberation, but it was and still is in the best interest of our oppressor. Brothers and sisters, we must not delude ourselves into thinking that the people who for hundreds of years have strategically, follow what I'm saying now, I'm talking about a people who have spent centuries strategically and violently orchestrating our physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual enslavement. Don't think, brothers and sisters, that these people are now going to turn around and give you a God consciousness that's going to set you free. See, we think that because they let us get a good job, buddy, that now they're setting us free. We think that because they now allow us to serve in high-ranking positions in the police department, or even in the fire department, or in politics, that now they're letting us experience liberation. No, look at the person next to you and say, that's comfort on the plantation. Yes, it is. In other words, if you are a good enough Negro, we'll let you have this comfort. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I was looking at, what's this thing the other night on television? Comes on with somebody, O'Connor, where the black detective, in the heat of the night. I was looking at the other night. And you know something, to be honest with you, it really clicked for me that I saw it, watched it many times, but it never clicked like it did the other night. O'Connor, who's the police chief, has got a girlfriend in this. But you almost can't tell she's black. Now mind you, we're talking Sparta, Mississippi, racist town, right? But yet the chief of police girlfriend is a black woman, but you have to look closely to see that she's a black woman. And I said to myself, looking at it, now wait a minute, if they wanted him to have a black woman as a girl, why didn't they get a highly melaninated sister to play that role? But there again, y'all, is that racism and eugenics at work, even in entertainment. They've taken the chains off of our feet. Which is better? Is it better to have chains on your feet but know who you are? Or is it better to have the chains taken off of your feet and now have them placed on your mind? See, as long as the chains were on our feet, as long as that cable was around the neck of that baby elephant, the master or that British hunter had to wonder, if I take the cable off, will it try to run? But after reaching a certain point, he knew that now I can take this cable off this elephant's neck because it's now in his mind. They've taken the chains off of our feet, brothers and sisters, but they left them on our minds. We're still enslaved. I'll say it again. Now, y'all, I don't mean we here at New Ephesus, even though some of you are. I'm talking about we as a people are still. See, here's how I feel. You might not feel this way, but whatever personal level of liberation I have, it still means nothing to me as long as my brother and my sister are still bound in slavery. That's why I stand here every week. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I work until I get headaches, because if it means taking my last breath, I got to tell you what I got to tell you in order for you to be free. Got to do it. We're still enslaved, and I'll tell you this. The reason why we're still enslaved is because we still believe what they gave us to believe. The real tragedy, brothers and sisters, is that most of us, as I said, are not even trying to be free. We must ask the question, where did we get this religion from? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, who taught us my belief system?
I don't think you heard it.
I'll say it again then. Ask yourself, where did we get this religion from? You know, I'm going to be honest with you. If you just ask those questions alone, if you have any thinking capacity at all, it ought to take effect in your life. Where did we get this religion from, and who taught it to us? That alone is enough to make you lay it down. The most important element, and hear me well, in fact, repeat this after me. The most important element of upholding European supremacy is stopping black awareness. Did y'all get that? Or are you just repeating words? The most important element in upholding European supremacy is stopping black awareness. So whenever a teacher comes along who would bring awareness and consciousness to African people, what must they do? They must stop the teacher. They have various methods of doing that. They try to resist through internal resistance. Then they try to discredit through external forces, trying to stop the liberator or the teacher. The best technique for accomplishing stopping black awareness, now follow what I'm saying to y'all, is a system of religious and secular miseducation that has been devised so well that it does not even breed the possibility of black awareness. I will never forget, because I had never encountered it in all the years I've been in ministry till I came to this city. That black preachers would say to me, don't preach that black stuff. I'm still in awe about it. In fact, I'm getting ready to produce some videotapes on it so the community can see what our black preachers say about that black stuff. What's wrong with us when our religious leaders become the main instruments in the perpetuation of our enslavement? We have taken man-made doctrines. Am I talking too hard? Okay, I was really asking our visitors, because I know y'all here, you're used to it, but I don't want to chase our visitors away. I hope they're grabbing what I'm saying, and I'm serious about that, because see, sometimes people get people to come and visit my church, and then I talk on the level that many have grown to, and it's like a little too strong for them. So I hope I'm not being too overbearing here, but we have taken man-made doctrines. What did I just say? Man-made doctrines. And I want you to know, I'm not talking about black man-made doctrines. I'm talking about doctrines that were man-made by white folk. We have taken man-made doctrines to be our rule and guide over and above facts and reality. We have literally, I don't know how we've done it. If we were thinking, it wouldn't have happened. But we as a people have literally made ourselves accept that which doesn't even make sense as fact instead of truth. Everybody say, truth is that which is consistent with reality. One more time. Truth is that which is consistent with reality. Now let me explain to you what I mean. I talked a few weeks ago about Adam, where art thou? How in the world is a man made according to the biblical record less than 3,000 years ago going to be the first man on the planet when you got structures in Egypt that are over 18,000 years old? How's that going to be? Somebody had to build. But see, here's the reality, brothers and sisters, that you have to understand. The white people who made up these stories can't tell you about their existence past 3,000 years ago. In fact, I'll be nice, they can't tell you about their existence past a good 2,000 years ago. So therefore, in order for them to be culturally superior, they must of necessity make sure that everything on the planet came into existence since they came into existence. Did I make sense to y'all when I said that? So they got us walking around saying that the world began in 4004 BC. And to be sure that you remain enslaved to that last bond of slavery, anything about African consciousness, they tell you it's satanic. You see, it's deep. Here we have up here what's called the Eye of Horus. Had my own people walk up to me. Africans, black folk, who just don't know no better because they're still bound to the last bond of slavery, walk up to me and say, what you doing with that evil eye on your lapel? Ain't that deep? Our people walk up and see the ankh right down here, or our sisters wearing the ankh. Our Our people who don't know no better walk up to him and say, don't you know that's witchcraft that you're wearing? But yet white folk walk up to us and say, that's a beautiful ankh you have on. Me and Mentortep go through it all the time. We'll be at a restaurant, he'll have his ankh on, and somebody will walk up and say to him, that's a beautiful ankh you have on. And we look up and we look at each other and say, this don't make sense. You know what this means? Sure, we know what it means. It's the African symbol of eternal life. Yes. And then me and Mentortep, after they walk away, we look at each other and say, that's a doggone shame. We're still bound. And it's deep, brothers, because they are the ones who created the lie for our enslavement, and we are the ones who are committed to the lie. Y'all understand what I'm saying here? There are three things that are necessary for resurrection and empowerment. Everybody say knowledge. That's the first thing that's necessary. When I say knowledge, brothers and sisters, so you'll understand, I'm talking about awareness of the facts. Awareness of the truth. Awareness of reality. Everybody say this. We must undo fables. We must undo lies. And we must undo fantasy. Now let me tell you what I'm talking about. We as a people, we are more into and committed to fables, lies, and fantasy instead of facts, truth, and reality. Yes. I can tell you a fact or the truth, and we say, well, that ain't what, no. And then we'll stand more on something we can't even verify. Second thing necessary for resurrection and empowerment, everybody say understanding. Understanding is comprehending the knowledge manifested into actions. Steve Coakley, powerful brother. Powerful brother. Yes, sir. He had let somebody borrow a book. And then when he saw the person, he asked him, he was about to ask him, have you read the book? And then he said, no, I ain't got to ask you. I know you haven't read it. Because if you had read it, you would have right knowledge. And right knowledge is manifested in your actions. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So I can tell whether some of you are being liberated or not. Because if your actions are the same as they were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you haven't been listening. One of y'all taught on, are you listening? Which one of you, Minister Ernie, taught, are you listening? I can tell some of you are not listening, and I can tell others of you are. Because right knowledge is manifested in your actions. Doggone it, when you look in the mirror and see your slip hanging, you do something about it, don't you, sisters? Yeah, you pull that slip up, don't you? When you look, brothers, and you're rushing out the house and you realize that your zipper's down. I don't know, somebody may know what I'm talking about. We've all done that, haven't we? And you realize, see, you didn't know it was down. Somebody said, brother, you know, your fly is open. That kind of, not your fly ain't open. I'm just saying, brother, your fly is open. What do? You ignore it? What do we do, brothers? We're doing about face. And turn back around. Same thing when you got wrong knowledge. You do something about it. The third thing that's necessary for resurrection and empowerment is something called wisdom. Wisdom is the optimum combination of knowledge and understanding, expressed in the ability to make things happen. I just told y'all about some black men who've had to deal with racism all through their career in the fire department. But they had wisdom. They combined their knowledge along with their understanding and created the possibility to make things happen. Now, those who had to once deal with racism in the department are now chiefs in the department themselves. When are we going to learn? Brothers and sisters, everybody say the truth has been blacked out through whitewash. As recent as 35,000 BC, 35,000 years BC. How many years did I just say? 35,000. I didn't say 3,500. I said as recent as 35,000 years BC. Art, music, ritual, burial, accounting system, science, philosophy had been mastered by Africans. Thousands of years before the so-called birth of their Jesus, of the white man's Jesus. Africans were in the zenith of gynecology. Thousands of years BC. Africans were in the zenith of medicine and astrology and astronomy and biology and psychology and calculus and all the other sciences. Africans had mastered these things before European knew what a shoe was. So what did the European have to do to make us imprisoned? The slave master's religion had to be created. Y'all think I'm playing? There's a book called The Golden Stool. Those of you who are just grabbing what I'm saying today for the first time and it's kind of shocking you a little bit, make note of what I'm saying. Don't take my word for what I'm saying. Write it down. The Golden Stool. Write that book down. It's the author is Edwin W. Smith. On page 173 of that book, Edwin W. Smith, and by the way, this book is a methodical projection about how to colonize the African continent. On page 173, Edwin Smith says these words, and I quote him: "In order to win an African to Christ, it is first necessary to Europeanize them." End of quote. Go look it up on the internet, The Golden Stool. Isn't that deep?
Yes.
In order to win the Africans to Christ, it is first necessary to Europeanize them. Look at the person next to you and say, I don't want to be Europeanized. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Hold up. Now, I know y'all said that because I asked you to. We just created a problem. We just created a problem. Let's try that again. Look at the person next to you and say, I don't want to be, no, wait, only if you mean it. Only if you mean it. Look at the person next to you and say, I don't want to be Europeanized. Now, y'all said it with power that time. Okay. Let's see what's going to happen now. Look back at them and say, so what are you going to do about it? Oh, this is getting good. See, here's the predicament. Look back at them and say, because you already are. You see, brothers and sisters, you cannot grow up in this society and not be affected by Europeanization. And nothing is as destructive to the African mind as the Europeanization of the African mind. Once your African mind becomes Europeanized, you are programmed to self-destruct. So what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? In order for us to know the truth about our Europeanization, we must trace the roots of it. Ooh, buddy.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for us to understand that this figure that we call Jesus was a created figure to establish your commitment to a belief system that is invalid? What happens when you put all your faith in something that you cannot verify? Now, okay, I hear it. I'm getting good. I can start hearing stuff that ain't even being said. I feel your thoughts. Well, Pastor, how can you say that? Because Jesus has done too much for me. And you know something? I understand what you're saying. But my question to you is, why are you calling it Jesus? Why not say God has done too much for me? You understand what I'm saying? Here we go. How would you feel if you were a parent and you had done all this for your child, and your child gave the glory to somebody else for what you did? Now y'all, you can actually tap into what I'm saying, because all you got to do is think about December 25th. This thing we call Christmas and Santa Claus. Some parents got enough sense to be sure that their child knows that I bought this for you. You understand what I'm saying? Some parents got enough sense to be sure that their child understands it was not no fat white man in a red and white suit that came down a chimney that we don't even have and put these toys under this tree. Some parents got that much sense. Then you got others who take their baby to the mall and put them up in the lap of this fat white man in a red suit, and the baby's crying. I don't want to sit here. And you telling the baby, smile, so they can take your picture. That's deep when the baby got more sense than you got. The African genius in that little black baby is saying, I don't want to be here. I'm trying to be considerate, because I know that some of the things I'm saying here today is really, you know, bombarding some of your beliefs. I know it is. I've been there, people. You follow what I'm saying? But just think about our predicament as a people. What has the slave master's religion done for us as a people? But kept us in the predicament as a people to whereas they are that far now from making a decision to eliminate us off the face of this planet as a people. If your faith hasn't done any more for you than it has, then you don't need it. Now what are you saying, Pastor? I'm doing pretty good. I know you are. But we ain't. Did I lose you? No. You see, the African thing is, it's not about how good you are doing. It's about how good we are doing. And if we as a people are still in trouble, see, y'all, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Let's bring some reality into this thing. Why is it that most of the young black men who are locked up downtown right now in jail grew up in Sunday school? Why is it that those of us of our people who love the Lord, I'm talking about in the context that they assigned it to you.
That's right.
You're unhappy. Oh, tell it like it is. Yeah, see, we as a people, because we're bound to the slave master's religion, we just keep believing that one day. And we sing it, if you want to know where I'm going. And we get happy talking about where I'm going instead of, you ain't got no choice because you sure can't talk about how happy you are where you are. You can't talk about that because, Reverend, I have to be honest with you, things ain't like I really want them to be. My children are all confused. They telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. My home is falling apart. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I ain't making the kind of money I'd like to make.
All right now.
Lord, have mercy.
I'm forever look like gonna be an employee instead of an employer. Am I making sense, folks?
Yes.
And the only comfort I get is talking about where I'm going one day. Why is it that the people who gave us this program don't ever talk about where they're going? Think with me, people. I've never heard Jews talk about going to heaven. But yet they got all the financial empires all over the world. They are the bankers. You follow what I'm saying? The Rothschilds, the Bilderbergers, the Morgans, the Rockefellers. They don't talk about going to heaven. They don't get up and sing, I'm going up yonder. They program us to sing it. Because as long as you can put that mentality in these people, that one day it'll be all right for them in the by and by. So we remain slaves to that last. And then here's the real catcher, and I got to close now. Here's the real catcher of it all. The real thing is keep them divided. Now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I have people that have said to me, I get so much out of your teaching. People have ordered our tapes, but when they get to Jesus, all of a sudden, here we were like this. Now we're at this Jesus issue. I can't listen to him no more. But yet you haven't invalidated what I said.
That's right.
You haven't proved me wrong.
That's right.
Only thing you've done is went through what I call, as a psychologist, cognitive dissonance. In other words, your brain had an accident. That's what happened. Your brain had an accident with truth. What I said had a head-on collision with what you've been made to believe.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So instead of saying, well, at least let me go check out what this brother's saying and see if what he's saying is true. Because see, if you go do that,
That's right.
they don't want that to happen. So you and I both, I was there, people, we have been programmed to automatically destroy that person who would bring us something other than what we've been taught. And as a result, we have Muslims who can't get along with Christians, and Jews who don't want to be a part of neither one of that group. I won't even go that far. Let's stay right in the Christian circle. We got Methodists who don't want to fellowship with Baptists, and Baptists who don't want to fellowship with Pentecostals. You understand what I'm saying? All because of a doctrine that the slave master gave us. And the thing about it is, they don't even believe it. Ooh, buddy. The slave master's religion has purposely taught us to believe differently. We have refused to see that it is a total shame, brothers and sisters, when we allow ourselves as Africans to stoop so low to use something as sacred as personal spirituality to keep us divided. For almost 500 years. How many years did I say, y'all? For almost 500 years, the slave master's religion has misused Africans as the stepping stone for white success. And it's time for it to stop now. Ashe.
Yes, brothers, it's time for it to stop now. Sisters, it's time for it to stop now. Oh, my goodness. I trust that you got something out of that teaching today. It's time to break the last bonds of slavery. And you know, it's really deep, brothers and sisters. Back in the days when I was doing these messages, I didn't realize the effect that they were having. You know why? Because each week I was preparing another message. So it wasn't a fact of me contemplating or sitting around thinking about how this message affected people. You know, I'm getting more out of it now, listening to it years later. I understand how we were able to grow from that old mindset to right African consciousness. You know, it's been a wonderful experience of growing brothers and sisters into the right mindset that they're supposed to have. But we still got a long way to go. Okay. But hey, listen, I trust that you guys were blessed by the message today. And hey, we're going to keep on doing our job. You know, we're going to keep on doing our job. Yeah. In fact, as I was listening to some of the messages, I was trying to figure out which one to air because I'm getting so inspired and motivated all over again listening to these old messages. Wow, man. But I hope my thing is, I hope that you are being blessed by them. That's really why I'm re-airing these messages, you know, and also again, to try to answer the questions of those ministers who have said, Doc, show me how to move my congregation. Well, this is how I did it. You're listening to the messages that I preached or that I taught, okay, to move my congregation to right thinking. And you can do the same, you know. In fact, you can feel free to, talking to ministers now, you feel free to take the messages that you're listening to and teach them yourself, okay? But you got to know what you're talking about. So do the homework, all right? That's why I say don't take my word for what I'm saying. Do the homework. Do it for yourself so you know the truth. Well, brothers and sisters, it's time for us to get ready to get out of here. But before doing that, I want to invite you to, those of you who are listening on YouTube, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm trying to build up my subscriber base. I'm trying to get 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel. All right, we're getting there. Okay, yeah. I mean, man, we got well over 40,000 subscribers already. Okay, so hey, we're getting there, you know. And if we don't get there, that's okay too. I mean, that's not my problem. That's the problem. That's the Most High's problem. You know, my job is to teach. That's my job. Okay, and hopefully you will share. Okay, you will become extensions of me and share with others what you hear, what you're learning. Okay, that's how we build our base. Okay, that's how we do it. So go ahead and do that. Excuse me. I also invite you to log on to our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week stream on the internet and listen to my messages. Okay, those of you who said you want me to mentor you, you want to come up under my teaching, listen, just go to my website. That's why I have it. Okay, I pay for having our own channel, okay, of our own live streaming channel every month, and it's quite expensive too. All right, but it's important that this message gets out there. It's important that this message gets out there. So we broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just go to WBLR.com or theafricanvillage.org. Both go to the same spot on the internet and listen to me teaching. Okay, and learn. Take notes. Go to school. All right. Also, brothers and sisters, I invite you to make a donation to support what we're doing. Okay, and those of you, and by the way, thank you so very much. You know, I was just sharing with someone earlier this week, and sisters, I don't say this to ignore you, okay, but it makes my heart happy when I see the donations coming in from the brothers as well. And let me tell you why I say that, because by nature, men simply are not into giving their money, okay, to any kind of religious program. Okay, men want to support something that's going to make a difference. And when I see the donations coming in from the brothers, it lets me know that, man, we're reaching the men, you know. And I've always had that characteristic in my ministry. Even when I was preaching the program, I've always had more brothers than I had sisters in my ministry. And that's unusual, because usually in most churches, the sisters outnumber the men 7 or 8 or 9 to 1. Okay, but I've always had more brothers, and I think it's because I'm teaching. I'm not an inspirational, I'm not a pep talk speaker. I don't give motivational messages like some preachers do. Okay, I teach. That's what I do. I teach. I try to enlighten the mind, and men like that. Okay, so brothers, I appreciate you guys. Okay, those of you who have been supporting every week, I appreciate you as well. Of course, sisters, you know I appreciate y'all, right? But, you know, I had to acknowledge the brothers, because when I see the donations coming in from the men, you know, that says something. That says a lot, you know, because men are left-brained, you know, we're analytical, you know, we want it to make sense to us, you know, and once you reach the male mind, you know, with the truth, man, that's good. That's a wonderful thing. So again, thank you guys for your support. If you want to support us through PayPal, just go to paypal.com. You see there on the screen, okay, and make your donation to African Village 1 at AOL.com. And that's African with a K, not a C. Okay, African Village 1 at AOL.com. If you want to make your donation through Cash App, the donation address is # Dr. Ray Hagins, 1 G in my last name. Okay. If you're making your donation through Zelle, it's my email address, rayhagins@gmail.com. Okay. rayhagins@gmail.com. And if you want to mail in your donation, you can do that as well. All right. Just mail your donation to the African Village, make your check or money order payable to the African Village, and mail it to 3520 North Newstead Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63115. Okay? Yeah. And of course, brothers and sisters, you know I got to talk about the Black Achievement Fund before I get out of here, right? Yeah, Black Achievement Fund. Come on and be a part of it. And I did get email this week on those of you who signed up this week, and hopefully you got an email back from me saying welcome to the Black Achievement Fund. All right. And if you didn't get it, then stand by, and within a couple of days you will. All right. But when you sign up to the Black Achievement Fund, the office staff sends me an email, especially those who say they heard about the Black Achievement Fund through Dr. Ray Hagins or through the African Village. They send me an email, let me know that you've joined. Okay. So I'm going to send you an email saying thank you for joining. Okay, so come on and be a part of the Black Achievement Fund. We're doing some wonderful things, and hey, man, you know, it's just all good. You know, me coming together with brothers and sisters of like mind, it's just absolutely awesome. You know, I'm excited to be a part of such a wonderful movement. Not a moment, a movement. See, a lot of us are momentary. We do things for the moment, okay, but that's not good. We have to do stuff that's going to last. And that's why it needs to be a movement, not a moment. Okay, so come on and be a part of the Black Achievement Fund, and coming up at the 2:00 hour Eastern Standard Time, our president and founder of the Black Achievement Fund, Brother Archie Hodges, will be going live to tell you about it. So just go to baf.solutions. That's you see there that's the website, not .com, .net, .org, no, .solutions, BAF for Black Achievement Fund, .solutions. That's the website. Okay, go there and learn about the Black Achievement Fund and become a part of it. All right, it's only $9 a month, man. Okay, come on, y'all throw that away a day. All right, come on, let's put our money together as African people and achieve some things. All right. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Oh, brothers and sisters, I tell you, I've enjoyed being with you guys today. And now it's time for us to get out of here. All right. So what we're going to do now is sing The African in Me, Love the African in You. When we come together, there's nothing we can't do. You know why? Because you're easy to love. So come on, let's lift our voice together and sing it like we mean it. Hey. Yeah, nothing we can't do. Let's do it. The African in me, love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. The African in me, love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're easy. You're easy. Easy to love. Let's do it again. Come on. The African in me, love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. The African in me, love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're so easy. You're so easy. Easy to love. Let's do the principles of my heart. Come on. The truth that's in me, love the truth that's in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. The truth that's in me, love the truth that's in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're easy. You're easy. Easy to love. The justice in me, love the justice in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. The justice in me, love the justice in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're so easy. You are so easy. Easy to love. How about righteousness? Come on, let's do it. Oh, the righteousness in me. Love the righteousness in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. The righteousness in me. Love the righteousness in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're so easy. You're so easy. Easy to love. The African in me, yeah. The African in me, love the African in you. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. Oh, the African in me, love the African in you, yeah. When we come together, there ain't nothing we can't do. 'Cause you're easy. You're easy. You're so easy. easy to love. You're easy to love. You're so easy to love. Oh, family, do my art and live. Yeah. Until next week, brothers and sisters, you guys out there stay strong, stay safe, okay? And we'll catch y'all next time. Much mirth to all of you. Peace.